Okay, good.
Okay, we have today I have hot chocolate, Aloha, Aloha from California.
Ooh, aloha from California. Oh, are we on the air?
Yes, we're going.
I have tea. I have tea and a tichel on. So, shalom, Kansas.
Shalom, Aloha. Okay, so
Shalom.
this is take two of week
Aloha.
four, take two of week four, two of week four. The connection is pretty bad for some reason. I don't know. It's a lot better now. So
And
maybe
maybe
it
it's
was
the storms. Maybe it's the summers. You know what? You know what Nostradamus said? Nostradamus said there would be a 9.5 earthquake in Southern California on the 28th. Fun with that.
on the 28th.
Yeah,
Well,
I
today
sent a
is the
couple links
24th.
to I know. So in 4 days, fair for an earthquake.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so I've been doing some traveling this week, the whole week. And it's been wonderful traveling. I love to travel. We did a drove from Kansas to Washington, and then I flew Seattle down here to Long Beach, and it was just wonderful. It wore me out. It dehydrated me, but it was wonderful. So I slept for about 10 hours last night. And on the plane ride yesterday, I went through some of we're on week 4, page 79, and I went through some of the exercises. And this week was actually kind of, you weren't supposed to, this was the week of reading deprivation, where you can interpret it however you want, but she wanted you to not read anything as to get other people's opinions out of your head, and to have more time to do other creative things like go fishing or make a craft project or paint something or like that. So really, I did not really read all week because I was traveling, and I could spend time with family instead. So that was a good thing. You know what I'd really like to do? I'd really like to split the screen. Is it possible to split the screen? Half you, half me?
You want to split the screen?
Yeah, like have me here, you over here. I don't know. I
Yeah,
gotta.
I wish it was
We'll
split
figure that.
too,
We'll
but
figure that out later, I
that's
guess.
that's not something you could do with Google Hangouts currently. I think there might be an app for that. I don't know, we'll have to see, but I don't think that's something you can do currently, unfortunately. It's interesting, fast, the fast of reading, not wanting to be influenced by other people. It's funny you should mention that because that made me think of Bobby McFerrin. He was trying to find what his singing voice was when he finally decided that he was a singer. He thought he was a pianist for a long time, but that he's like, no, he just kept feeling like he should sing, but he wanted to sing himself and not like anybody else. And so I think he went 3 years without listening to any other vocalists,
That's
and
pretty
he
good.
like any other vocalists at all. Yeah, it was hardcore. And then, of course, from that experience, he developed his signature beatbox type of solo a cappella type work, and which of course turned out to be pivotal, just amazing. And nobody's like that, and it's completely unique. Although I will say that I personally think his jazzles are very similar to Al Jarreau, but that's just me.
Al Jarreau.
I think some of that might have leaked through in later albums. Yeah. But yes, other types of artists do that too. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay.
And I'm like, I did you say you wanted to scream?
No.
Okay.
I was
I'm
coughing.
not hearing well. You're still kind of looking up, but oh, well, it sounded like I want to scream.
No, I said, sorry, I'm coughing.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Okay.
nothing like I want to scream.
No, it doesn't. But, there was an S in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is taking way too long. I've already gone through my drink, figuring out all this stuff of making this.
I'm almost at my drink.
So I just wanted to do something, another exercise like we did last week only. This exercise is called Buried Dreams. It's a series. It's a 6 questions. List 5 things of these questions. To get the point of this exercise is to get the unconscious, what your brain, what your what you'd really like to do, or what is kind of in uncover would be fun to do, and bring it out on paper to remind your conscience, hey, this is really fun. This should be on the list of things to do. This should be on your bucket list. So I already, not all of these I didn't think of, and it's supposed to be just first thing that pops into your head, but I don't work that way. If it's like the first thing that pops into my head, it would be blank, because nothing just pops into my head like that. So I went back and forth of thinking about stuff. And I really thought about stuff that I would be interested in. So number 1, 5 hobbies that sound fun. But my first one is go to eat at local restaurants, which in Kansas isn't really, you can't really do because there's not a whole lot of local restaurants.
No, just a bunch of Mexican places and chains.
Yes. I mean, maybe you can find 1 or 2, but I mean, if you
I mean,
do,
don't get me wrong, Mexican's delicious, but you can only eat so much Mexican.
yes, you can only eat so much Mexican. And if this was as a hobby, your hobby would be over in like a week.
That's right. Either that or your hobby would be going to the very same Mexican restaurants every week.
Yes. My next one is bike ride, which again, I can't do
Ooh,
it in Kansas, but it's funner if you do it in a place where more people ride bikes and or walk. So come
indeed.
Northwest is a better place to do that. And then number 3, I only got to 3.
I think
Take
this is funny. This is funny because it's kind of turning into, what you can't do in Kansas. Ha ha ha.
yes. Take a 2 to 3 day trip to a fun city, like which again is easier to do anywhere else other than Kansas.
We're not in Kansas. Although 2 to 3 days in any direction from Kansas, you probably find something fun.
Yes, I mean from Kansas, because I found a cheap airline. They'll take you to Chicago for like $50 or $60. So I remember I was talking to you about,
Right.
hey, wouldn't it be fun if you could just go to Kansas City and fly to Chicago for a weekend and then come back or something? Or like maybe the cheaper flights are like in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or something.
So much like Pretty Woman. Like, hi, dude. You want to like get me on a plane and like take me to the opera at the Met in New York, like really expensive necklace, and then we'll fly back home.
Yeah, doesn't that sound fun?
Actually, yes, that sounds awesome.
So
Part of the reason I love Pretty Woman.
do you have a hobby that you wish that sounds fun to you that you're not doing now?
Um, Honestly, I
I
could
would
ride a
type in a
bike
lot.
more. I actually do like riding bike. What?
I said our family tends to have a lot of hobbies in the first place.
Yes, there's pretty much no hobbies that I'm not doing. It's the big life changes, like, pursuing careers that I'm not doing.
Yes, yes, that's it. Okay, so how about the second one? 5 classes that sound fun. My number one was pole dancing / ballroom dancing. The and
I think
or.
you should get into West Coast swing while you're out there. I think you do West Coast swing.
Yes, that sounds fun. Also, when I was visiting Portland, there were yoga studios everywhere. And I have been to yoga classes before, but not on a
Say
regular
yoga.
yoga classes.
Mhm.
Also, I have also attempted this before, but it just kind of went away. A swimming class. Although I would probably do more like a swimming tutor, like a one-on-one, as opposed to a big group of people.
Mhm.
And while I'm in California, my brain was going to surfing. I've never surfed before. That sounds interesting.
You actually really want to surf?
Well, it was between surfing, taking a surfing class, or one of the later questions, something you'd try once. So that's something I'd try once, but can also might be a class.
Mm.
So is there a class that you'd like to take that you haven't taken before?
Well, considering that I'm currently in college, I don't want to take any again. I'm done taking all classes whatsoever, and I certainly don't want to write any more paper. Of that, um, I pretty much am taking class. I really like to study with Daniel Vialis.
Daniel
I would
Vitalis.
study with him. I'd like to study with his. He's a nutritional neo-indigenous type dude. I'd actually like to talk to him about the principles of switching back to an indigenous type lifestyle. I'd like to talk to him about vegetarianism. Just actually, I want to his brain. I don't know if I'm exactly prepared. Actually, I don't know, do any fitness or any kind of a diet, but that's something I'm interested in learning. I'd like to go to his this year, which I can't remember if it's on. I think it's on the East Coast anyway. So there's that. Creatively speaking, though, there's really any classes I want to take because I'm already a belly dancer. I'm mostly right now. I'm teaching. Like I'm starting to get into teaching myself, and so you learn a whole lot about your craft when you teach. It takes you to the level. But that as an artist, it's important to get out and do things and get exposure to different ways of thinking and just different experiences. I think surfing totally freaks me out. I would do it because it's dangerous and you can die, and sharks and jellyfish and I don't the ocean. Think about all of the creatures peeing in the ocean. Uh, so it just freaks me out. But
Okay.
surfing is really awesome. I mean, at least once because it's such an amazing connection with nature and especially with water. Which, if you live in Kansas, you can't take surfing lessons.
You can go tubing on the lake, though. That's about as close as you can
That is the same.
get.
I know that's the same.
Not the same. Okay, number 3. Things you do. No, things you would never do, but sound fun. And I don't know the point to this because, well, yeah, these things may sound fun, but if you're never going to do it, what's the point? So
Yeah.
I
Why
put
does she
down,
even have you think about that stuff?
I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, I'd never skydive because it would make me sick. I would never go to China because there's too many people. I would never
Oh
live in
my
New York
gosh.
City because there's too many people. And I would never hike a giant mountain because that hiking a giant mountain does not sound fun to me.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not one of those, I will let other people climb the damn mountain. I don't want to do it.
No. Okay, so number 4, 5 skills that would be fun to have. So I'm like, okay, well, this is a better question. Um, so going back to the, being able to learning how to like swim laps. That's a skill I've wanted to have, and I've attempted in the past, but haven't really stuck because I'm not around. Again, I'm in Kansas where I'm not around water unless I force myself to, have a gym membership with a pool. So, and then again, amateur slash semi-professional, like ballroom dancing or, that coast swing sounds fun. Dancing with a partner type
What
of
is
thing.
this category again?
This is skills that would be fun to have that you don't already have.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Skills that not stuff that you're never going to do.
no, this is stuff that you might end up doing. Um, but then I'm like, well, I guess I can work on playing the piano better. Like I can get better piano skills. And then I put wine tasting skills. And then I just started sounding like Napoleon Dynamite. Gardening skills.
Wine tasting. Well, you know what? Wine tasting is a skill, and that
That's
can
right.
help you to unlock parts of your artistic brain.
In a
You
place where there's
learn
a
to
lot of
pick out
vineyards.
flavors within wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So is there a skill you don't have but
it's
that
cool
sounds
because you
fun?
learn. Um, skill I don't have that's fun. I think for me right now, I'm kind of happing off what I decide to learn or what I decide to try. I think right now I'm trying to do stuff with the knowledge that I have. So it's kind of a bad time to ask me this. I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but I have always um, wondered and sort of felt like I'd like to have experience of giving birth to a child physically from out of my body. Um, I don't feel like less of a woman because I can't get pregnant or I haven't gotten pregnant yet, etc. I'm 40 is looking me in the face. It's welcoming me with open arms. And so I'm kind of accepting the idea it's probably not going to happen. But I think out of all experiences I've had in my life, I would probably, that's probably one that I would like to try if I could. But if it doesn't happen in the next few years, I'm fine with it not being there. Being skinny, I would really like to try being thin.
Yeah,
But that's not a skill.
fun.
It's a status of being. So
I don't know.
everything else I've
It could
tried,
be a,
for all the crafts, all the stuff,
I don't know, it could be a skill.
I have
I don't know what else to call it
what
because
being skinny.
yeah, maintaining a lower
It's a
weight.
state. No, it's a state of being. It's not ill. It's a state of being.
Okay, state of being.
I would call it.
Okay, move on. Number 5. Things I used to
How
enjoy doing.
many of these are there?
Just 6. There's one more after this. So things you used to enjoy doing,
Okay.
which I'm guessing the point of this is to remember in the past what you like from childhood, what you enjoyed doing and what you stopped doing in your adulthood.
Yeah.
Although the things that I thought of, I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested in anymore. Like scrapbooking or jewelry making, or I did put creating PowerPoints and slide presentations because I really did like doing that, but that really morphed into making little movies. So it's kind of like I'm still doing that, only I've
Right.
upgraded.
Right.
And like writing and illustrating my own original stories, which I did that when I was a kid, but I'm not really interested in doing that anymore. So,
Trying to think of stuff I used to do as a kid that I like. I think pretty much everything I liked doing as a kid translated into my adult life, and I still do it. I, I I actually really, really love what we're doing. Like if G plus was a thing, like if these Google Hangouts was a thing when I was a kid, imagine. Like I would definitely be one of those kids that has a YouTube channel, and that because I used to record audio tapes. I would interview people when you remember that when I was young. I was 8 years
yeah.
older than you, like before you were born. You were born interviewing my on tape. I love recording people and sounds and stuff like that. And I would record places and things with the old video camera that we had and write plays and so I still do that. I love doing that. This is something that I really love to do. And nowadays technology has made it so that it's not only really accessible, but it's free.
Yes.
So I don't, there's nothing as a kid that I would do that I don't do anymore. I translated it all into stuff that I do. So
And I will say,
I'll dance. I danced when I was a kid. Yeah.
I will say, thinking about like hobbies and stuff, and we all, our family, we grew up having lots of hobbies and trying new things and not being afraid to try new things. And you have an interesting hobby. I mean, relatively speaking, some hobbies cost a lot of money or, require a lot of money. And so we would choose the ones or, dumb it down, like your video and recording stuff. We never had the best of equipment, but we weren't afraid to do those
No,
things.
we had really equipment. We had
Yeah.
equipment that literally got out of trash.
Yes, the Saddam Hussein tapes that mom got out of the trash. Um,
Just that is such a long story. I don't even like to say that they were Saddam Hussein tapes
they
because
were
nobody
Saddam
will
Hussein
understand
tapes.
that. They were not contraband people. They were not.
No, they said they were saying something like he was giving a speech or something.
Got them out of the trash. Yes, he was giving a speech. It was things that you can just like say, you remember those hit tapes? Oh, it was the day. No, it's like, don't even bring up. Anyway, yes, tapes that we got. The whole point is we got the tapes out of the trash and we used them. And I got a tape recorder out of the trash and I used it. It was an old one. And then somehow we got a camcorder that would put the entire, like the big VHS tape in there, ka-chunk.
Yeah, that I remember Dad
It
got that from a
recorded
garage
some
sale.
stuff.
I think I was with him on that trip of garage sailing where he got that for like 20
Mm-hmm.
bucks or something. Yes. But
It was awesome. It was so cool.
yes. So the last question,
We got on a tangent.
five silly things you'd try once. And the stuff that I thought of, they're not necessarily silly, but I would try them once and I probably wouldn't want to try them ever again after I already tried them. Like an unusual food product, like grasshoppers or fried grasshoppers. Or
That didn't even do that once.
you wouldn't do that once. Um, going
No. What
fishing.
I would do once though, but I have to like going fishing.
See, that's not really silly, but I'd try it once. I've
The
never
one
gone
thing
fishing.
Mine isn't really so, well, fishing is silly to me. But the one thing that I would that is actually kind of scary for me, and it's not really, but I take ayahuasca once, but I'd have to be with friends and have to work my way up to it. But I would try tripping once.
Tripping on something like drugs? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Say it again.
DMT. Ayahuasca. DMT. I would trip. I would go on a trip. I'd be tripping.
Okay. Yeah.
Hear me? Breaking up too.
What is gonna drug related,
Super
but
breaking up.
see. Okay. Well, I can still hear you, kind of.
Now I can hear you.
It just going fishing sounds boring to me, but I would try it once.
Yes, it does.
Similar thing, like I also put scuba diving. If I ever went to like the Caribbean or something, I would try scuba diving. And then backpacking around Europe. I'm not sure if I would
Ooh.
like doing that, but that does sound fun because I do love to travel. And I don't mind.
I've already been diving because in Kansas City had scuba diving in class.
But that
The
was
really
probably like
school
what?
district in Johnson County.
That was what, in a swimming pool?
Yeah, of course it was in a swimming pool because the ocean. Dot dot dot.
Because the ocean. So that's not really scuba diving.
The ocean. No, it's not scuba diving. I wouldn't snorkeling in like the coral reef thing, although the coral reef scares me because if you scratch yourself on a coral reef, you end up with coral inside of you and they kill you slowly.
Okay. You have lots of fears of the ocean.
Yes, I do. The ocean, it scares me.
Time to wait, bad recording. But
Really bad recording. I think we should probably end this soon.
yes, I still have spots open for affirmation portrait. I'll leave the links below. kezia-carter.com. Affirmation portrait is an awesome mixed media painting made by me to reflect your dreams and your desires and your goals for life, to inspire you to do them. And they're really, really awesome at cost. And thank you, Chris. We will end this broadcast, and I will see you next week for hopefully better recording. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.